Hello and welcome to part 3 of the comprehensive guide to the self-treatment of patella maltracking. In part 3 I'm going to cover the subject of foam rolling. Foam rolling is a subject that's been kind of flogged to death on the internet already, but as this is a comprehensive guide it does need to be covered for sufferers of this condition. What I hope you will get from this foam rolling video as opposed to other foam rolling videos is that this is specifically designed for people with patella maltracking. Hi, so you need to make a choice on which foam roller you're going to use. Now, if you're suffering with patella maltracking right now, there's a pretty good chance that all the muscles in your legs are going to be so knotted up and painful that any rolling on anything is going to be extremely painful. I know because I've been there. So really, in the early days you do want something quite soft, so you can choose softer ones, and then you get to these firmer ones that are called closed cell. That's really quite solid. And if you go on the internet sites that sell these things, there will usually be guides as to the firmness of the actual roller itself. And if you've got really bad patella maltracking, go for a soft one initially. But in the long run, you will need one of these closed cell firm ones. There are certain foam rolling exercises that will cover where you'll need even firmer ones than that. I mean, this is actually a PVC pipe, and this is what you use to do the lower leg foam rolling. It's not even foam; it's pipe rolling, I guess you could call it. But you probably wouldn't need that in the early days. You could probably suffice with a rolling pin, but we're going to cover that in the rolling section. This other one, this is one that's on the market called the rumble roller. Again, this is quite useful for muscles like the lower legs where you don't have much body weight pressing down onto the roller, so you need a little bit of extra pressure that comes from these nubs, these spikes that are pretty painful but effective, and we'll go into that. Okay, so this first exercise we're going to look at, this first foam rolling exercise, is our number one key, most important foam rolling exercise for patella maltracking sufferers. You remember in part 2 of the section, the basic science video, where I explained how it's that imbalance between the outer quad muscles, the lateral quad muscles, and the inner quad muscles, the medial quad muscles, that can cause that imbalance, that can pull the patella in the wrong place. So if you're going to only ever do one foam rolling exercise, you really need to work on the outer quad, the lateral quad, the vastus lateralis it's called. Okay, so I'm about to show you that exercise now. Okay, so this is the position you need to get yourself in for this exercise. Probably what's most interesting is the position I've got here with my arms and my hands. You notice I'm kind of propped up on one elbow, and then I've got the forearm resting out there. I've got a nice mat here just to protect the skin of my elbow from the sharp carpet. You can get away with a piece of toweling instead, whatever really. I mean, as long as there's something for your elbow. You notice I've got this other hand here as just general support, and that's going to guide me and help me move the body along the roller. The other things you'll notice is I'm trying to keep the body straight. I'm not kind of all bent and crooked like this. I'm not sort of crooking my head over or anything. I'm trying to sort of just keep reasonable alignment of my head and neck, but it's probably not perfect, so don't crucify me. But then what we're going to do now is just show you how you kind of move the body along the roll. So you do have to do a little bit of shuffling with the arms like this, but then you'll probably get to a point, and most people, it's usually about halfway along the middle point of the muscle belly on this lateral quad, where you feel a real kind of tight knot. Sometimes you find a little bit of a lump there, and you can kind of mash the roller into that lump. Okay. What you also got down the outside of the leg is a piece of fibrous tissue called the IT band, and that can kind of get a little bit mashed up into this lateral quad as well. So that can get a bit tight. So you might feel that kind of clicking back and forth over the muscle. But if you've got pretty bad patella maltracking right now, and you jump yourself on a roller like this and start rolling your lateral quad, you will be in real pain. It'll really hurt. I remember when I first got on one of these things about 6 or 7 years ago, I was virtually wishing to be biting down on a spoon handle. I was in so much pain. And in fact, I didn't even, you can see there I've got 2 legs, so I've got this leg here is squashing onto that leg to put more weight. I couldn't even do that. I actually had the top leg off the top like this. And you can see that I've only got the weight of one leg there, just pushing on that. And even that was torturous pain, I'm afraid. And you're probably thinking, what's all this torturous pain? How's this going to help my knee? But it does, because you need to break down these knots. So if you don't break down these knots, you're never going to free up those muscles, you're never going to lengthen those muscles that have got tight, you're never going to get proper balance of those muscles, and the kneecap's going to continually maltrack through the femoral groove. Okay, so that's the one leg, and then the 2 leg. When you can do that one comfortably, slap 2 legs on and just get rolling around. You often find, first time you get someone doing this, they'll be with their arms, they'll be all over the place, and they'll be doing all this, and they're like, oh, how do I do it? And it's kind of like, well, you just, all you can say is, learn this elbow position, learn this hand position, and then it's kind of trial and error. The more you practice this thing, the better you'll get at it. Usually a good sign of someone who hasn't been doing it is because you'll ask them to do it and they'll do all this mucking around, okay? Because you just need to practice it and learn how to do it, alright? But keep your body virtually straight and you're halfway there.
Good.
Okay, so the second foam rolling exercise is working on the lower leg. We don't actually use a foam roller for this because foam isn't firm enough. You actually need to use either a PVC pipe is ideal, or if you don't have a PVC pipe, actually a wooden rolling pin will do the trick, provided it's big enough diameter. In terms of the PVC pipe, you want to be about kind of 10 centimetre diameter, that'll do the trick. Why have I put this as my number 2 foam rolling exercise for patella-femoral tracking sufferers? It's because of, and you'll see this when we go into other sections of the series, the proper motion through the lower leg and proper flexibility of the lower leg muscles to get proper sort of movement and range of motion through the ankle is just so important in order to stop all the other incorrect movements, which when combined together can really cause this condition to get pretty bad and pretty painful. So it might not be clear right now while rubbing a piece of PVC pipe up against your lower leg is going to actually help, but it will in the long run. Just kind of bear with me for now. Okay, so here we are using the PVC pipe and I'm working on the lower leg muscles. Okay, so I'm at the top here. This section of the lower leg is called the gastrocnemius muscle, okay? And as you work down lower, you get into the soleus part of the muscle. Focus on that area of it a little bit more, but I mean, who cares what the names are? Basically, it's the lower leg muscle, and the reason why we're breaking down the knots in these muscles is to allow us to sort of increase our ability to kind of turn the toe up, and that will make more sense to us later on. Probably when you first start you might find that's a bit painful, so if you just do kind of one leg at a time or 2 legs at a time as it is, you've just got the weight of the actual leg itself bearing down and squashing the roller into it. When you progress from that, you'll actually want to do this stacking thing where you're relaxing this leg onto this leg and you're just trying to squash it in there like that. If you find a knot, there's a little bit of tightness there, so I'm working on that knot there, just sort of rolling it back and forth. You can even kind of work different portions. You see there I've turned the toe out a little bit to work on the outside. You can even turn the toe in a little bit to work on the inside. For the most part, for most of your luck, you're going to get it with the toe straight. I find that's where kind of most problems are. If you just pop back to my hands, you'll see a lot of people when they do this exercise, they think they need to be pushed up like this, with the hips off the floor the whole time, and they go, oh God, this is really tiring on my arms. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is just push yourself a little bit to just shuffle the hips along, okay? And then once you've got to a point, see, like you can do it no hands, all right? I'm not like pushing myself up or anything. I've just got all that weight bearing down on there. But if I want to move to a different position, I put my hands back down. I just shuffle just a little bit. Okay, I've done the shuffling. Sit back down. No hands. You don't need to be walking around like this the whole time. You're just going to tire yourself out if you do that. So, because you're going to need to do this for quite a long time. So you don't want to have tired arms.